Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Esquire's Man at His Best podcast. So this is our weekly look at some of the biggest things that have happened this week in the world of men's lifestyle, including updates from our very own website and magazine. So my name is Tom and I'm the digital director of Esquire Middle East, and as per usual I'm joined by a very special guest. So, raised in the mythical kingdom of Asgard as a prince, he was supposed to go on to claim the throne of this space-based land. However, after proving he lacked humility by invading lands held by the frost giants, he was stripped of his title as well as his magic hammer and banished to Asgard. Now he must forever dwell in the mortal realm with us humans, but to help bide the time, he decided to move into the world of publishing as something to do. Fortunately, he also agreed to be on this podcast with me, which is why it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Editor-in-Chief of Esquire Middle East, Mr. Matthew Baxter Priest.
Thank you. I also go by Hammerman, if you want. And, you know, what do those frost giants know about humility? Nothing, Tom. Nothing.
This is why you're here.
Yeah, well, you know, it's always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us. Again, I would like to thank, similar to our first episode, we are filming live here from Folly by Nick and Scott. It's in the Madinat Jumeirah.
For continuity, we decided to wear the same clothes as last week.
Completely coincidentally. Literally down to the socks I wear. All clean and pressed, though. If you haven't been, Folly is in our top 5 best restaurants in the Gulf 2018 list. Definitely worth popping along. If you've been, you know how good it is anyway. And pop down along and you might even bump into us.
Yeah, so kind of another change apart from the location is obviously this podcast is now streamlined. It's quick to the point.
We don't mess around, Tom.
Nope. It is...
Which is weird because it's kind of all we do. Just mess around without messing around.
It's quality and not quantity.
That's the one.
Size doesn't matter in the podcast world.
Correct.
So we're going to be talking about a few different things that have crossed our desk this week, and then you can go about your day.
Yeah, sure. I'll go about my day, so I recommend you do the same.
Yes. So why don't we begin with some news?
Oh.
So I've got a bit of news that comes from the world of bespoke tailoring.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have any bespoke?
I have multiple
clothing?
bespoke. This is currently a bespoke blazer, or sports jacket, as the Americans call it.
Fair. So what is the annoying thing about getting clothes made bespoke?
The traipsing to and from tailors, sometimes.
Exactly.
For like multiple fittings and that kind of thing.
So there's a new tailoring firm in Dubai called the Custom Shop, New York, even though it's in Dubai.
Custom Shop, New York, Dubai.
Yeah, I'm guessing there is a custom shop in New York.
I can only hope so, otherwise that is just not good naming.
Anyway, so it has opened up a mobile service in Dubai which drives to certain locations to take customers' measurements as well as orders.
I saw one of these the other day.
It's a little red truck.
Yep. I was in the Springs Town Centre, or the Meadows Town Centre, whichever one the one with the big spinnies is. And yeah, there was one parked up in the car park.
So one of the other things that, besides kind of going to you, or better yet, going to locations where it's easy for you to go and visit them, is they use 3D scanning technology.
There you go.
So what the company claims is that it can completely measure you for a suit in just 5 minutes, which is faster than the time it takes to get a cup of coffee, is what they claim.
Well, where are they getting their coffee from?
Well, Nespresso does it very quick. You get one very quickly.
You want a lovely, like a espresso in an Italian place? Bing, bang, in, out? Maybe like a minute and a half.
I think the point they're making is it's quite quick.
Very quick measuring.
And then, of course,
how does this 3D scanning technology work?
I think it's similar to what is the place in DIFC? The shoe place.
The left shoe company?
That's right. So you stand on a little pad, and then it scans your feet.
Okay.
This is a bit similar. You stand on a little pad, and then there's cameras that measure you. You turn around, and then it uses like a reference in the image that obviously they provide. That's their technology to completely measure you.
That's cool.
And I guess the idea.
How accurate is it?
You know, I've actually dabbled in this sort of thing a couple of years ago, and I really I was not happy with it.
Sure.
However, technology is moving at lightning pace at the moment, so one would guess that if they've driven that little red truck all the way from New York, they would have done it for a reason, and that reason being that they've gotten good at it.
Fair enough. What are the main benefits of this
The main
This
benefits, there's two main benefits. Price, for one, because obviously they can hire less people, they can be more exact, they get it right the first time. So that should reflect the price. And then again, convenience. The whole point is that they drive to you in their little truck. You get in, you get measured, bing, bam, boom, you get a suit.
So they're going to drive to my house?
Well, they won't drive to your house. They'll drive close to your house.
Okay.
I think for a big enough order, they drive to your house.
Fair. Okay, I generally tend to order.
Depends where you live. I know they spend a lot of time downtown, so if you live in like the Burj Khalifa, they'd probably come to your house because that's where they go.
Okay. But it's still, there may still be a case of I might actually have to leave my office to go to the thing, which I could just do with the tailors.
Well, actually, breaking news. This just in. The current locations are limited to the Pavilion in Jumeirah Park, Dubai Silicon Oasis, and the Meadows Town Centre.
And that's the one I saw it at.
So you pre-book your slot,
right?
So they know where to send the truck.
Okay.
And you can also track the truck using their website.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, might be something to check out. And when I do, you guys will be the first to know.
Yes. The whole point is again, it's a multi-city approach that allows
Dubai
us
and New York
to serve customers anywhere, anytime, and ensure the same level of quality.
Cool. Sounds good.
It does sound good, but again, I'd like to try it myself. I said, I don't think, as much as technology is great, there's some things that it just can't do. And I've had some bespoke stuff made by kind of just an old man that fits better than a lot of the technology-based kind of clothes that I have ever owned or tried on.
Listen, you talk to anyone who's working in the tailoring industry, like the watch industry or anything, and a lot of it comes from craftsmanship. It comes from what human contact does. What a handmade fabrics and skills are, they cannot be replaced with the accuracy of technology. When you get your adjustments on your suit at a tailor's, they may adjust for in the last couple of weeks where you've put on weight or lost weight, or have you been ill, have you been traveling. There's all these elements that humans can correct by sight, by measurement. Technology doesn't have that, from my understanding, doesn't quite have that level of intricacy yet. But, don't knock it till we try it. So
that is true. And it does come with a little red truck.
I do like a truck. With several hundreds of thousands of miles on it.
And a 3D scanning machine. That's all from me. That's all the tailoring news I've got.
Yeah, cool. I have one that you might be particularly interested. I was actually thinking of you when I picked out this news story for us today.
Creepy.
It is about eSports, Tom.
eSports, the electronic of sports.
Yeah, you are a big fan of eSports. I am a little bit more skeptical of eSports, but there was a landmark decision made earlier this year by the NBA, so the National Basketball Association, the official league, who have decided to announce plans for a digital league. Now, there already exists
a digital, like NBA 2K, like
yes,
EA
correct.
games?
They've partnered with NBA 2K Sports to create a digital league that is endorsed by the NBA.
Okay.
Now, there already exists eSports leagues, like the League of Legends, championships and things like that.
Yeah, League of Legends is a game,
yes,
not a league, but they do.
But they have leagues and championships
in
around that. But this one is actually endorsed by the official NBA. In fact, so much so that the commissioner of the NBA even claimed that a guy called Adam Silver, he claimed that this will be the fourth league in the NBA family.
The fourth league. So I got NBA.
Yes, then you have
WNBA.
Yeah, and
NCAA.
No, you have the D League, which is called the Developmental League.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And then, so this will be the fourth league. So there's an eSports league. So the game is played by official players drafted by franchises.
So do they play the NBA video game?
Yes.
Okay, so they play other games.
They play NBA 2K, whatever, 18.
Okay, so that makes sense because, so there are other leagues. So, for example, in this region, PLG, Power League Gaming, this is kind of the biggest esports league out here, but they play a variety of different games, including League of Legends, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, FIFA. So that's a multi-game league. So you're saying this is purely electronic basketball?
Yes, yeah, and specifically of that brand as well. Well, I do have some fun, interesting facts for you here, which actually kind of blew my mind when I was reading them. So we mentioned League of Legends. The Golden State Warriors, who are an NBA team, have actually already have their esports team, and they are actually spending $13 million to enter a Golden State Warriors squad into the League of Legends Championship Series.
Into the League of Legends?
Yes.
So they have a proper esports like division?
Correct.
Are they called the Golden State Warriors?
Pass on that.
Golden State Legends, surely.
Fair there. But what was interesting is in the 2017 League of Legends World Final, viewers of that, Tom, were around 60 million uniques.
60 million? 60 million. Well, see, if you go to Korea, South Korea in particular, North Korea, they don't have that many computers that can run these sort of games. They fill entire stadiums full of people who are there purely to watch esports.
Yeah. So as a comparison, 60 million people watched the League of Legends World Finals in 2017. The NBA Finals of the same year averaged 20 million people per game. Okay, so total, we're looking bigger. But total bigger in real sports, but the size of it purely like, comparable, and you can totally understand why the NBA and other people are wanting to jump on this. Now let's keep in mind that's just League of Legends. That's just one game. Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, if you times kind of, I guess it's the ability for people to watch these sort of things. It's far easier when it's streamed online. Yeah, and what's interesting here is again the talent that they're playing, much like you when you're drafting a player for your NBA team, they're actually drafting gamers. So, and they are giving, I've got stats and figures here, they are giving gamers around like a salary for around $35,000 a year, base salary, if you're a first round draft pick. And that comes with room, board, medical insurance, retirement plans, and various other things. So it's full contractual obligation, like you would an athlete. They obviously have things that they'll be handled like contracts handled like athletes. So it's a real big positive, and the NBA are the first kind of global league of that size of importance to embrace it. So whether the rest of the world will follow, we'll see. But I know things like Manchester City already have an esports team. Paris Saint-Germain have an esports team. So, but at the moment, that's games not involved directly with the sport that they're known for. So when do you think? I mean, there's a few big characters in the world of gaming. They generally, it's because they're streamers or they're YouTubers, not necessarily because they play competitive sports. So when do you think the big name will, I guess, break out of people who play video games? I mean, I can't give you a time yet, but I guarantee there will be. I guarantee there will be famous esports players, especially they probably already are. But into the mainstream, I don't know. Give it a few years. Esports is massively growing in this region as well. So give it a few years, and we'll be talking about old Danny Chang as much as we'll be talking about LeBron James. Maybe. I look forward to it. I know you do. But also, see, I was always told that to stop playing video games because I wouldn't be able to get a job if I didn't knuckle down and study on like homework, science, math, this sort of thing. Really, I should have just gone, no, up yours, parents. I'm gonna do video games, and I'm gonna make a lot of money doing it. Yeah. Well, there is a thought that one day your kid will be saying to you, Dad, I made the esports league. I made the NBA 2K league instead of I made it to the NBA. Could happen. Well, yeah. It's also a lot more, I mean, to be a professional athlete, you do need to kind of, I mean, never say never, but generally, when you're born, you get some traits that make you better at basketball. Genetic gifts. Yeah. Generally, you've got to be quite tall. Yeah. Talent is talent. I would say out of Are you saying that esports players are not going to be tall? I'm saying they don't need to be tall to be good. They just need to have massive thumbs. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah. So you can have genetic gifts there as well. You've got to be dexterous in the hands as opposed to in the feet and the hands and the eyes and the swish. And the shooting. Yes. Cool. All of those bits. Cool sports, bruh. Anyway, so from sports to a slightly other sport-related based story. So, maybe this is quite important for people who maybe want to lose some weight, but perhaps don't want to do the sports. I would like this. Don't like doing sports, want to lose some weight. So apparently, and this is kind of one of those studies that I like because it kind of really puts all of the emphasis on other things around me as opposed to like the McDonald's I had for lunch. Sure. But apparently, according to science, I've heard of him.
It is everyday products that contain obesogens that make us fat.
Tell me more.
So these obesogens, these are chemicals that we come in contact to that in some way, shape or form make us more inclined to be fat.
Yeah, like what?
So
break down the science chat to me, Tom, and tell it to me in English.
House dust make you fat. Cleaning products make you fat. Kitchenware and cosmetics. These are apparently the biggest sources of obesogens.
All right, I'm going to jump in with you here. Dust makes you fat, but cleaning the dust makes you fat.
Yeah.
All right.
And cooking makes you fat.
And
makeup.
eating makes you fat.
Yep. Anyway.
Not eating also makes you fat.
So in light of these findings, researchers have made 7 recommendations to minimize the buildup of these fat chemicals.
Who are the researchers you speak of?
I told you it's science.
Mr. and Mrs. Science?
The European Society of Endocrinology in Barcelona.
Fair enough.
So that sounds pretty scientific to me.
It does.
Okay, so these are the 7 things. You should choose fresh, organic, and pesticide-free food.
Okay. But you shouldn't eat it, because eating makes you fat.
Remove shoes when entering the house. Make you thin.
It'll make you thin.
Taking
your shoes off will make you thin.
Apparently, according to science. Vacuuming often to stop chemicals from building up. Also removing your carpets at home and replacing them with wooden floors.
See? Perfect. I actually had a friend when I was growing up, and he once told me something about science, and he did this movement, this hand signal.
Okay.
And I was like, what is that? And he went, science. And I think he was unrolling some kind of scroll, like an ancient science scroll. So from now on, according to science, I'll believe it.
Well, so here's a fun fact. Apparently, according to science,
Just science.
Adults ingest about 50 milligrams of dust per day.
Well, I can get that. There's dust everywhere, right? Especially with this gas bag.
And then obviously the dust contains obesogens.
I don't know about this, man. I mean, yeah, it's just saying like living makes you fat.
No, obesogens.
Which is like air-based particles.
Dust.
And cleaning the dust. I don't know, man. Jury's out on that one. I have a better one for you.
All right. Better than that? Better than dust makes you fat?
Slightly more fun. Tom, the time is near. The time is now. It's World Cup time.
Oh, yes.
It is World Cup time, Tom. And therefore, in the latest issue of Esquire Middle East magazine, we have put together the Esquire Alternative Guide to the World Cup.
Yeah, you've got it right here.
I do have it right here, just not in magazine form. Where basically we kind of run through alternate facts, interesting things that isn't just your basic rundown of the teams, including a lovely little quiz, Tom.
Quiz?
Now,
I like quizzes.
Now, I'm going to read out a few quiz questions to you and not tell you the answers.
Okay.
Because you will have to find the answers in the comments below. Or maybe on our website.
Okay.
Or I could just tell you the answers.
Maybe just tell me the answers.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go with that one. Which country, Tom, has featured in the most 0-0 World Cup games?
England.
But that is correct, yeah, absolutely. World Cup guru over here. Excellent. I like that.
I don't even like football.
What about?
But I know, but see, this is. Let me explain how I got there.
Right.
Every England game I've ever watched has been more or less quite boring, especially because I'm not English, so I don't really care.
Fair.
But everyone else really cares, and I don't care, so it's really boring.
Yeah.
And I always remember everyone leaves just going, oh. And so that's what informed my decision.
And there's a lot of penalties, which is essentially 0-0 games before it ends.
All right.
Fair. All right. Which country qualified for the World Cup is nicknamed the Green Falcons?
Nigeria.
No. Closer to home.
Saudi Arabia.
Correct. There you see. Falcons. That's the giveaway.
And green. Because the green falcon only actually lives in Saudi Arabia. It's quite rare.
Is there a green falcon?
Evidently.
If you say so. But apparently there are 11 of them. They are playing in the opening game of the World Cup, Tom. Segue. Russia versus Saudi. June 14th. Moscow.
And who will win?
I don't know, man. I've got a feeling that Russia aren't as good as they would want to be or would hope to be, or going into their World Cup. And I genuinely think generally a history of upsets in the World Cup opening game. Senegal beat France once famously in 2002. There's another famous loss, if I can remember.
So who would be the upset in this situation?
The upset would be Saudi beating Russia, but I can see if the region is growing, the football in the region is growing, and if Saudi are ever going to make a move and a big kind of international statement, it would be in this game. It's the opening game of the World Cup.
I do agree, but Russia's going to have the home turf. It's going to have the
pressure, Tom.
The motivational eye of President Putin.
But also, you got to remember that Russia, as hosts, have not played a competitive game of football. They didn't qualify because they were hosting it, so they haven't played a competitive game of football. They might not be up to match fitness.
True, but they were so good at Olympic sports. They weren't even allowed to compete this year.
So good,
because they were too good.
They were just like, you guys, you're just setting world records left, right, and center.
So perhaps
none for you.
Perhaps this year they've also maybe they'll be too good this time.
Cool. And I have one more fun little fact for you, Tom.
Hit me.
Not a fun fact. It's going to be a true or false question.
True, false.
True. Yeah, either one. You have to say either true or false if you believe or disbelieve the statement.
Okay.
That's how it works. In 1950, the Indian team pulled out of the World Cup because FIFA wouldn't let them play with bare feet.
Can I go with racist? Is that one? I'm going to go with false.
It's true, Tom.
So racist then.
Yeah.
Well,
But also health and safety.
Yeah, because protecting the feet.
You can't have one team playing with no shoes.
Why didn't FIFA just go,
It's not
we'll give you some
schoolyard
shoes?
I mean, that was the other option, but maybe the team felt they'd qualified without the shoes, they could go on to do it. But yeah, apparently in 1950, no shoes, no football, no party. No shoes, no party, Tom.
No FIFA party.
Definitely no FIFA party. There are more of these questions in this month's issue. So if you like that kind of level, they're quite complex. It's that kind of level. Test your football knowledge. Elsewhere, I'm going to say it's really good. It is really good. We've got interviews with Pele. We've got an interview with Maradona. We have a lovely little flow chart where if you don't have a team in the World Cup like I do as an Italy fan, there's a nice little flow chart to tell you who you can support if you really wanted to. Like this one, Tom. Do you like football?
No.
How about those Yankees, huh?
I don't like baseball either. That's worse.
Well, it's a work in progress.
Anyway, let's just end that there then.
Cool.
So we do hope that you enjoyed the Esquire Man at His Best podcast. Remember, we have new episodes coming out weekly on Apple iTunes, SoundCloud, Pocket Casts, and more, as well as hosting each individual show on our website.
Yeah, and I would like to thank Tom. I would like to thank myself, let's be honest here.
Thank you.
More importantly, I would like to thank Folly by Nicholas Scott here at the Madinat Jumeirah, Dubai, for hosting us again for this podcast, 2 weeks in a row. Lovely people. Great food. If you haven't been here, please come along. Again, one of the greatest restaurants in the region as voted for by the Esquire judges in 2018. So that's been us.
Yeah, come eat here. If the food is as good as the podcasts,
holy moly.
What a delightful place this would be. See you next week.
Catch you later.